The 5-year reviews, will they achieve anything?
I don't believe anything this government's saying on climate change. No one can seriously believe Scott Morrison when it comes to this. This is a bloke who's fought this for so long with his party. He's only doing this, Peter, because he wants to buy subs off Joe Biden and he's returning the favour to Boris Johnson, who helped him out. Second, he won't legislate to back in this target, and he's not really going to take anything ambitious to Glasgow. And the only way, if you're a Liberal voter and you want to see climate change taken seriously, the only way you're going to see that change is to vote out Katie Allen, vote out Dave Sharma, vote out Tim Wilson, maybe give Trent Zimmerman a shake because I like Tim, but you really got to strike him. You've got to give him you've got to give him a dose of the eternal heebie-jeebies for them to take this seriously, and you've got to do it in the heartland and have independents maybe sit on the crossbench and hold either side to account.
What's wrong with the net zero by 2050 target and a 2030 target that looks as though it's going to be beaten quite comfortably by up to about 36% by today's reports? I mean, that's not bad.
I just urge you to just take into account the hallmark of this government. They're always wanting to ace the announcement and they turn out to be delivery duds every single time. So they're saying this now because industry, state governments, they've all taken this stuff seriously. They've got in place frameworks, policies, investment to back it up, right? So that's the important thing there. The federal government is basically piggybacking off the hard work of others and, as always, claiming the credit for what the states do in terms of taking this stuff seriously. And again, I come back to the point. They don't want to legislate this. They want to get to the other side of the election. They want to hold on. What they want to be able to do is have a message in Mosman and a message in Maroochydore. That's what they want. They want to be able to get through this election, and then when it's not legislated, they get through the other side and they just drag their feet on it yet again.
Do you want to see an increased 2030 target when it's eventually announced by the Labor Party?
So we said that, obviously going into next week, we're not representing the nation. We would have loved to have been in the position of government, but they're in there and they've got to front up with a target that will satisfy exactly what the world thinks needs to happen in terms of everyone pitching in to help on this big issue. So from our point of view, we want to wait until what they've announced, and then we have said before the election, what we will do is we will definitely deliver the targets that people can then judge both sides of politics as to who's fed Ingham on it. We've made this. We think we can turn good climate policy into good jobs policy and be able to reduce emissions and create work and good long-term secure work for people in the process. The other side is missing all these opportunities.
What about something more ambitious than the government's current projections when it comes to 2030? Would you personally like to see that?
We haven't even seen the colour of what they're putting forward yet. So again, let's get through Glasgow, see what they put forward, and then, as I said a few moments ago, we'll be taking our package to the next election and people can compare and contrast. But again, Liberal voters, if you are in their heartland seats and you take climate change seriously, the only way you're going to see that is if you change your Liberal MP. That's the only way that's going to happen.
What about 45% by 2030?
Well, are we just spinning a chocolate wheel here? Just picking a number?
Yeah, so too much? Is that too much?
Well, right, OK. Well, as I said, I've given you an answer. Okay. I think you know what my position is.
OK. What about coal? Do you want to see coal continue beyond 2030?
Well, I think that's... I don't think it's actually a matter of what I want, because the reality is it's going to be there.
Yeah.
We still have coal-fired generation happening in this country. It's still going to be part of the energy mix. Net zero means that you are going to have something in the system, like, for example, coal there. And there's a whole stack of metallurgical coal that is being used by different parts of the world to make steel and other products. So this is really important export for the country. So it's still going to be around. But there's a lot of opportunity for us, particularly in manufacturing, particularly finding new ways to generate in the needs of industry, the energy that's needed by industry. Be able to generate some of the renewable manufacturing here on shore. We can do that, and we should be pursuing that, and using government procurement to drive some of those decisions as well, which is why we've announced some of our policies in the last few weeks around that.
Boris Johnson wants developed countries to abandon coal by 2030. I mean, he's wrong, right?
Well, he can say that. If he wants to say that in terms of his neck of the woods, that's for him to be able to have that discussion with his own people. I don't see that happening on our soil anytime soon.
You don't agree with him?
So
Here?
I don't agree. In the Australian context, I think it's important that we recognise that coal makes a contribution. Coal workers get that the world is in transition and they want to be respected in the process and be given consideration about this. And I think centre-left parties need to be very mindful of this. I reckon the longer-term thing is that be mindful of that. And I think in our case, in terms of Australian Labor, we want to make sure that coal workers are looked after and that jobs are created in the regions that are full-time, secure, and also give us a chance to make a contribution to reducing emissions.